Jay, what's your opinion on social media?
I think social media is very important. It's very key to any business, any upcoming entrepreneurs. Just lifestyle in general, it's super, super like important. Like people do, like when you wake up, what's the first thing you do? You grab your phone, check social media.
That's what I do this morning.
I did too.
Sadly.
Yeah.
I think it's key for keeping everybody accountable because everybody puts their best foot forward on social media. Nobody posts that they're having a bad day, but they will post that they're at a business meeting, or that they're having a good day, or they just went on a date. So like it kind of helps keep you in check and keep you in line because when you're sitting at home and not doing anything, where you haven't showered in 4 days, but you see your friends like going out and doing stuff, and you're just sitting at home not doing anything.
Yeah.
It's a little reminder that the world is still like moving, whether you think it is or it isn't.
Yeah, people say like we're super antisocial now, but
right.
But now it's the opposite. Like we're more social than we ever were, you know. And plus, I was talking to these guys right here, and they're smart, like smart motherfuckers, right? They were saying that the social media and like content out there is the next television, the next radio, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like this generation has known that for a while.
Yeah. No, we knew that.
We were born knowing this.
Yeah.
Like we were not bred to listen to the radio or maybe watch TV a little bit, but like our generation was a transitional period between like TV and the internet. So we understand like the importance of both. But we're more certain that like social media is gonna be around longer than television is.
But companies don't know that.
Companies are still willing to spend billions of dollars on a 50-second.
Yeah, and we have people like freaking Jake Paul, fucking Shane Dawson, all these people that are killing it on social media. You know, I feel like it's the real and authentic it's what's winning. Like if you want to be like these news or like CNN and stuff, they're all like uptight. They know what to say. Everything's scripted. Everything's on a teleprompter. And I don't know. I just people. Like our age, just the Generation Z, we don't relate to that stuff. We relate to like real and authentic, like people on YouTube, like these fucking vloggers and all that stuff. We relate to those people more. We don't relate to the suit and tie anymore. No, nothing anymore. Like scripted isn't working anymore. What do you guys think of that? Like,
well, I think yeah. Like I was recently listening to an audiobook on how this guy built an audience from 0 to 1 million in 30 days, and one of his big things was being authentic and building an authentic brand, because people care more about authenticity and trustworthiness than they care about actual facts. Like that's why we're more willing to buy an iPhone than we are like some phone from like China.
Yeah.
Like even though like the phone from China can be on paper better in every regard, but because we trust Apple, we're willing to pay that extra $800, $400 premium or whatever it is.
Absolutely. And Jay, what's your opinion on likes? when Instagram said they're going to remove likes, how is that going to affect like the business industry? Like, because Instagram is more than just a social media page. There's like companies making millions off of it, you know. So it's affecting a lot of people than you think it is, you know. So what's your opinion on likes and being it removed?
Well, I think likes should not be removed at all. Because if you think about it, like likes is what's it gives you the notification knowing that you're doing well. You know, you post a picture, you get a bunch of likes, like, you know, you're okay, like, I'm doing something right. You know, if you're not getting the likes, you're like, I don't know whether I'm getting likes or even getting views. Like, what's the point of posting?
Absolutely.
So I feel like that's a really big key of, like, growing your page, you know, getting those likes, because that's what you shoot for. You know, it's not just for views. Anybody can view your stuff. Yeah. But people like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then not only that, they like it, you know who likes it now. Now you can just retarget it, you know, and all that stuff. You know, it's used. Like back in the day, I don't know how the fuck they do it with billboards and everything. How do they keep track?
So one of like the major like arguments against traditional marketing is that you cannot track. The only way you could really track is if you on the billboard you did something similar to like a Facebook ad where you said mention this billboard, and that was how they would keep track. But even then, it would be very difficult to keep track because people can go in and forget to mention it. Yeah. Right, or they don't mention it at all, and there may not be like an incentive to mention it, so there's no reason for like people to mention it. So there's no way to track it. Yeah. Which is like a big con for traditional marketing.
Damn. No, again, traditional marketing is freaking dead.
Yeah,
you know, radio, television.
There's still like there's still markets there. They're just gonna be outweighed by social media.
No, absolutely. Like, don't get me wrong. When I see a car like wrapped in this freaking logo of the company and stuff, like it catches my attention.
Right,
you know, especially
right.
if it's right in front of me. So like, there is potential, but it's just who are you targeting? Like, who's your like
Right.
target audience?
Right, like having a bunch of people see it is great for brand recognition, but I don't necessarily think it's a good like success indicator.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
if you drove a car on like the 101 like
Yeah.
during rush hour and a ton of people see it, but everybody's so annoyed that they don't care to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Your ad was irrelevant, and if anything, it was even more irritating that it was just sitting there. You know,
Yeah.
like,
It's not all about look at me anymore. It's all
Right.
about like it's more complex. It's figuring out who your target market is, and then you not only that you gotta add a message that speaks their language straight to
Right.
the target market.
Like Instagram's platform grew so much because it piggybacked off of Facebook's idea of having likes. And like what likes do is it provides social proof and like social validation. So like, you know, as in the collective universe, that people are at least semi interested in what you're doing. So you're doing something right. So that releases dopamine. But people have been on the platform for so long that they're now just kind of immune to it, right? They are assuming it's gonna be there when they post a picture. You don't post a picture if you don't think you're gonna get a little bit of likes, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Like there's almost defeats the purpose of the whole platform
Absolutely.
if you're not expecting at least a like or two.
No, I get fucking pissed off when I don't get likes, you know. But my picture previously, it gets a bunch of likes, you know. That pisses me off.
Right, and that's very much just human nature. Like, and in terms of like businesses, like it's also not a really good indicator of whether or not your business is doing well. Like it may be like a very good indicator that like you caught somebody at the right time because like it's very much like time specific kind of post. Like, does that make sense? Like. Just because a business doesn't get a lot of likes doesn't mean it's not doing billions of dollars in like sales and revenue off of it. Like I see a lot of like Sears ads on Facebook or Instagram who get like, I don't know, like 800 likes, a few thousand likes, but they're still around. They're still doing billions of dollars in sales.
Yeah.
They're probably not doing it well because they're only getting a few thousand likes, and they have like millions of followers. But yeah, like I feel like in the next few like decades we're gonna see like older retail stores kind of die out as like companies struggle to survive on the platform.
Well, yeah, well, I think that's the reason because like Sears, like if you think about it, their customers, they're a lot older people.
Yeah,
You
they're
know,
older
that's they're not
demographic.
really on social media. You know,
Right.
so that's why I feel like the likes aren't there. But I feel like they still find ways to market the people that are their like
Right.
all time customers.
Yeah. If they're customers, they know it's freaking older folks. They're gonna target a print ad because those people
Right.
still use it. You know, so I feel like it's still around. It's again who you marketing is key.
All right, so I'm about to get really dark about this,
Let's
but
do it.
like the next 2 or 3 decades, the people who like who like would read print ads and listen to radio ads are probably gonna be dead.
Yeah.
Like 20, 30 years from now, like the people that they're gonna be struggling to target to is gonna be us, and they're gonna try to target us through social media, but it's gonna be like so
Horrible.
far. It's gonna be so far along. They're gonna be so like disconnected that we'll understand it because we're the generation that we're transitioned from like TV ads to like internet ads. So like it'll kind of resonate with us, but they'll still be so far off connected as to like the way we see like TV ads now, where we see it and we think, oh, Facebook ad would have worked a lot better than that.
What about sales? Wait, are you big on sales or are you not?
Sales is a must.
Yeah.
Like you can't do business on sales. You know, like you have to learn sales, but you have to learn it correctly.
Yeah.
You can't really be like a pushy salesman. That's just annoying.
Yeah.
You know, so you really have to learn like how to talk, how to communicate with the person. You know, there's books on it, courses on it. You know, but I think at the end it's all on you. You know, how you present yourself and how you present the product or service you're trying to sell.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Like,
Right.
as in for you, like, what about sales are you like most attracted to?
I think it's getting that first rejection.
I fucking hate that. I was so nervous when I got my first rejection.
Well, like, here's the thing, right? Like, after you get rejected for the first time, you get over that fear.
Yeah.
So it's no longer like, oh, what is he going to say to
Yeah.
reject me? Now you know exactly what it is. And once you know exactly what it is, it's out of obscurity. So now you have, like, a course of action, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't really plan for whatever he's going to, like, reject you with. But once they tell you what they're rejecting you with, well, they're like, oh, I got to talk to dog or whatever about it. Now you know, well, he's got to talk to somebody else, so he's uncertain.
Yeah.
So like
absolutely.
that gives you a tangible problem that you can actually solve.
No, absolutely.
As opposed to like having this anxiety behind what could go wrong or what could go right, like you don't really know.
Yeah, and there's three main reasons why people don't buy from you. One is because of the product. If they don't understand the product, they're not gonna buy. You know, like a confused mind doesn't buy. You know, like we gotta know the whole product in and out. Second is the price. It's something within the price range, right? And the third is they gotta trust the person. Mm-hmm. You know, so I feel like gaining that person's trust when it comes to sales is vital. It's super important. It's something that people got overlooked. Right. They think if they just smooth talk it, they'll get the sale. No, I feel like it's a lot of trust. Oh, it depends on people. Like, are you more aggressive or are you more friendly when it comes to sales?
I feel like I'm a little deceptive because I'm a little bit of both. I kind of read how the person's reacting to what I'm saying, and I'll adjust as I'm going along. Because if I come in and I'm like giving him like facts about it, and he's just like he's just talking about it, then I know he's not a logical person. If he's not a logical person, he's probably emotional. So then I start talking about how to make him feel. Yeah. About how, like, let's say I was trying to sell a website, right? And I was telling him, like, specs, like, 6 out of every 10 businesses don't have a website. And he's just like, yeah, whatever. And then, like, I catch on to him not really being interested. I'll say something along the lines of, like, but don't you want to stand out, though? And then, like, also the way I say it, like, with that tonality, it gets them thinking in their mind. Like, I asked them a question that I didn't ask, like, I didn't really want an answer to. Mm-hmm. But, like, now in the back of their mind, they're thinking about, like, that answer. They're like, well, yeah, I want to stand out. Yeah. And I'm getting them to give me that subconscious yes. Mm-hmm. And I just rack up as many of them as I can before I go in for the ask again.
Absolutely.
So, like, I'll probably do, like, 3 or 4 of those kinds of questions before I ask, now what do you think? And the more often than not, they're like, okay, now I'm more interested than I was when we first started.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I also believe that learning how to read people is super important.
Absolutely.
You know, it's kind of like he said, like, it's either logically or emotionally that you're gonna get a person to buy whatever you're trying to sell.
Mm-hmm. Right. Like, there's 22 cognitive biases, and like the more of them you can use, like, in your favor, the better. Like, there's logical people, there's emotional people, there's sociable people, and you gotta approach these people, like, differently. Yeah, you can't. Differently. There's no one size fits all for this. It's more adjusting, like, as you go along.
Yeah, as in for me, when I enter like a sales meeting, it's all about investigating who they are as a person first. You know, learn everything about them within a short period of time, but without coming too direct, to them. I don't want to feel like I'm investigating them at the same time. But I would just want to do it casually, and from there you could. It's all about the client at the end of the day, just focus attention on them, and then it's about helping them, it's not, oh, look, buy this, here, there you go, it's not about getting an offer, it's about getting to know them and, talk their language. It's something, because I come from the creative industry where, and then, so when I started my business, so I started in the film industry, and then I want to start my business helping business owners grow using video, right? So, for me, I learned nothing. I don't know anything about sales, and that was the hardest thing. I know I gotta fucking learn it, because there's videos out there, companies pay millions of dollars, and they're so trash. It's something that I could do better, right? So, but those people, they know sales. I didn't, right? So it was a huge learning curve, and something that really kind of clicked in my head when I first heard it was because when I went into these sales meetings, I was super nervous. I was overthinking shit, just learning the right things to say at the right time, and then something that I tripped over my words and stuff. And one thing that I heard that kind of clicked in my head was that go with the energy of that person. So I focused more on the energy than the things to say. Right. So once I did that, man, it was like a game changer. Because I was super nervous. I was doing this, but then I had to relax and just like go with the flow of the person. It's just a person.
Right. Yeah, like what you say doesn't really matter as much as how you say it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all language. It's all energy.
Like I'd argue that like we've been doing sales like since the day we've been born, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you do when you were like 4 or 5 and you wanted a toy from your parents. Yeah. You try to pitch them on how it'd make you happy, on how it's the best toy in the world, how like all the commercials you've seen, all the cool kids have it. Like you're actually doing sales to your parents. You're actually trying to sell your parents on buying you this toy. When you were in like middle school and high school and you liked somebody, like you try to sell yourself to them to get them to like you back or to pitch yourself to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Right.
Absolutely. No, it's just connected. It's just connected to our real world. What did you say?
Yeah, it's like we sell like every day, you know,
Right.
and even in like at our work field, you know, like I work at a clinic,
Mm-hmm.
so even then have to be presentable and try to sell like our services to customer to patients.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just like I'm sure like you like you know like you have a sales call whatever you have a sales call like you have to
Mhm.
try to pitch like their
Right.
service. You know, even us as like GenZ mindsets like we have to sell our value, I guess, our information,
Mhm.
Or-
Mhm.
our knowledge.
Absolutely.
You know, so we're like Freddie, you know, behind the camera.
Freddie looks
Shout out Freddie behind the
shout out
camera.
Freddie.
Yeah.
But you know his coaching, you know, he has to sell his knowledge. You
Mhm.
know. So yeah, I think Ramon, I think you have a lot to say about this topic.
No, yeah. Again, I feel like this is a freaking art form. Sales is a freaking art form.
It
There's
really
so
is.
much ways you could attack it from, and there's no right way. You know, if you look at Grant Cardone, he's being super aggressive with it. Like, that doesn't work for anyone. You know, it just
Right.
have to depends on your personality and how you are, and play with your strengths. Don't try to be someone that you're not, you know?
Right.
Because that's, people could spot, like, fakeness right off the bat.
Right.
You know? So, it's all about, not only that, it's like confidence. You got to know your product will work and will work for them. And then people could spot that confidence just the way you carry yourself. You know, so it's a huge thing. People say one of the biggest arguments was like, okay, do I wear a suit on my sales meeting or should I just go casual? And that's something I was really trying to figure out when I did my first close. I was just like, okay, should I wear like a suit just to present myself more casual? And should I wear blue? Because I know blue is kind of gives
Right.
people like you can trust
Right.
people more with blue or something. So I was really nitpicking with that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what you do or what you wear. It's about the confidence you have and how people could trust you in a short amount of time.
Right.
And it's all about influence people at the end of the day. Like,
Yeah.
it's insane.
Yeah, like a lot of it is just confidence, right? Like you can go into a sales meeting in flip-flops, shorts, and a tank top
Mm-hmm.
and get $1 billion close
Yeah.
because of the way you present yourself.
Mhm.
Like you can tell when somebody's like faking it, right?
Mhm.
Because confidence isn't something that's like easily like faked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ever.
Yeah, and you could spot real confidence. Like, I don't know how the fuck, like, these big dogs, like Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez, Gary Vee, they're just, like, the amount of confidence that they have, and then they know their
Right.
product will work is insane.
Right, like you have to have a lot of trust in your product because
Mhm.
because when you're trying to sell someone on something, like if I was trying to sell you a car, right?
Mhm.
It'd be really hard for me to sell you a car that I thought was crappy.
Yeah.
If I knew
yeah.
it was gonna break down in like 2,000 miles,
Mhm.
it'd be really hard for me to dig in
Yeah.
to myself
Mhm.
to get like details on how to sell you the car, right?
Mhm.
As opposed to me like knowing the car like top to bottom, knowing that it's gonna be like the perfect fit for you. It'll get you from point A to point B. Like it's good on gas. It has enough space for all your family. Like it's gonna serve you for a really long time. Now that's an easier sell than trying to sell something that's crappy because you don't want to sell something to somebody that they don't want.
Mhm.
You want to sell stuff to people like that they want. All right. So who here has done the sport and has had a coach? What sport did you do?
Soccer.
Did your coach ever talk to you about mindset?
Yeah.
What did he tell you?
He was like, you have to be in the right mindset to play right. You can't go into a game thinking about like other stuff. You have to focus on what's
Right.
important.
Mhm.
Right. How old were you when he said that to you?
Like 8. 10.
Probably right. Like super young.
Yeah.
What about you?
I want to play baseball, and then, yeah, it's all about mindset.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I wrestled, but I didn't do an actual sport until like I wrestled in high school, and a lot of it was mindset. Like a lot of it is picturing how you're gonna win the match before you even step out on the mat. So it was like one in your head before you actually won it out there on the mat.
No, yeah, it's true, because I was listening to this, like, Conor McGregor interview talking about how he sees two things. He sees things twice. One in his mind, and the second time, like, in real life. You know, you actually make it happen. You know, it's kind of the law of attraction.
Yeah.
All that jazz.
Conor McGregor is yeah, he did talk about like the law of attraction. He was talking about in one of like an older interview, like it looks like really grainy kind of video.
Mm-hmm.
But he talks about like how he was picturing that how he's already the UFC champion, how he's already like a black belt.
Mm-hmm.
This is like 3 or 4 years ago. Like way before he was even on UFC fight card or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah, like mindset's a powerful thing.
And not only that, that's what Kobe Bryant said in his book, the Black Mamba book. He was talking about how like mindset beats strategy or beats anything else, because if you're not good in here, because this is what controls everything. Every single thing is just your mind. It kind of starts out your whole day out. Like sometimes people told me like just write what you're grateful down every day. Like make a list of 5 things that you're grateful about, and already that will put you in a good mindset throughout the whole day. That it will carry you. You'll see nothing but positive shit throughout the whole day, then focusing on the negative stuff.
Right. Because like yeah, your mind will dictate what you see. Like, and if you're having a positive mindset, you're going to seek out positive things. Like, so your life will be more positive if you have a positive mindset.
Yeah, also with the mindset also comes a perspective. Because in the play, like sometimes you wake up and you don't feel your best. You feel, sad, depressed, whatever. That's like real shit, like going on day to day. So sometimes you wake up, you're like, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go to gym. I don't want to put whatever. But you have to put it in perspective. Like, like why I'm doing it. Like, it might not be a good day, but tomorrow's another day. So you have to always try to be look at the bigger picture. Step back, look at the positives, and then try to get your mindset right to continue your day.
I have a question, but sometimes when I was starting out, like my mindset was good, but sometimes I feel like I'm overthinking it, or getting my hopes up. Like, what could you tell people
about getting your hopes up?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's good to have goals, but like again, keeping stuff into perspective is what helps out a lot. Like, one of the exercises we do before we record something is we write down what the purpose of the video is, and we disqualify any content we think is not directly like aiming towards it, right? So if we're recording a video on helping people make money, and we're like pitching ideas, and one of those ideas doesn't necessarily like help out towards that goal, we'll just cut it completely because it doesn't make sense in terms of going towards that goal. And that's how all of life should be. Like, you should have a goal and you should have a purpose, and all your actions should map towards that one goal or purpose.
As well, I want to talk about like mindset. Like, you always hear the quote, "Life gives you lemon," right? So, like, life hands you the lemons, but it's your job to either make it sweet or make it sour.
Right.
So it's like you always have to have like, if life gives lemons, like I want to make it sweet, right? Because no one likes like sour lemonade. So obviously you have to try to focus on a good mindset to make that lemonade sweet, And like, when you make a lemonade stand, it's just like, you want to sell people sweet lemonade or like sour lemonade. Like, what's gonna be your business, right? So that's the way like I try to think of it. Like, just try to make life like as best as possible, even in the worst situations. Like, it could always be worse, just always.
I mean, that leads me to like a good point. Like, what I think about a lot is like the mindset like our parents are like had. Because like I still think about like how when my dad was 16 and he was in Mexico and life was not as good as it is here, where like at 16 he left his entire family to come up here to the United States to work. And only to work, like, and I've like he would tell me stories when I was younger about like how bad it was out like in the fields, and how like I should stay in school, and like he did it, and like he knew like in his mind that like it wasn't the best thing, and there was always something better, but he kept that mindset that like he needs to do what needs to get done to get to where he wants to go, and like that follows me like everywhere I go. Like, I think about like sometimes what you're doing at the moment is not what you want to be doing, but it's what needs to be done.
Absolutely.
And it'll get you wherever it is that you need to go.
No, yeah. And not only that, it's just the people who you hang around with, your whole environment. They say your top 3 friends is who you are. It's who you are as a person. Right. And once somebody told me that, I was like, fuck, my whole perspective changed now. I was like, I know who I want in my life now, Once you have like a certain amount of energy you give out a day until you get tired, you knock out. You use that energy wisely and just focus on people that you want to be with. People that motivate you and inspire you. So I feel like environment has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I think it's a Daniel Carnegie quote where he talks about like what the actual quote is you're the sum of the 5 closest people to you. So like that's really true. Like when
that's true as fuck.
I noticed that like when I was in Fresno and I was hanging out with people who weren't necessarily doing stuff or whose like goals didn't line up with mine, that like I wasn't making any progress towards them, and I was at a standstill, and I didn't know why. I was doing all the right things, like I thought I was like mentally all there, but like once, and then like it was like a retrospective thing, because like there was no way I was gonna be able to tell that one during the moment, but like looking back at it now, I realized it was the people I hung around with. Like they weren't necessarily bad, but our goals didn't line up.
Yeah.
And absolutely. Like now that I'm like around you guys and you guys have like the same goal in mind, I noticed that like I tend to be more productive, and like my ideas tend to flourish, and like I tend to be more actionable, and like I'm ready to get things done on a consistent basis because you guys are around doing stuff too.
Yeah, and so it's a really hard decision to make too, because sometimes you burn bridges off, you know, that you don't want to do it. I know people that came up to me, it's like, man, I need help. Like, I love my friends and all, but they're not really getting me where I want to be, right? So it's kind of hard to distance yourself, or it's hard to do it in the first place. You know, it's we talk about it like it's an easy thing, but no, it's actually a difficult thing. Like for me, it took me a couple of years to really figure out what I want to be. I thought I was doing good, but it turned out it wasn't, and I could be doing much better. So like the whole process, you know, it's much more difficult, but it is a thing that you gotta do. We gotta learn how to do it too in order to grow. And they say like when you grow, that's when you get comfortable with something, that means you're not growing anymore. You know, you feel like you know everything, and once you feel like you know everything, you get kind of stuck in this little bubble. But once you get uncomfortable, you kind of feel dumb when you're with somebody else. They kind of outsmart you. You're like, wow, there's a lot to learn. There's a much, you know, there's other people that are way smarter than me, and that's where growth comes in, when you're feeling uncomfortable. Yeah,
like that's the big thing about like your environment and your mindset. Like if you're pitching your goals and dreams, you're like, I want to drive a Ferrari, I want to have a big house. With a bunch of like your friends who are working at like fast food place, and they're like, they don't even see a way out of the fast food place. They in their main mind, they can't even justify like they don't even have the perspective world like of what you want like as a goal, so they can't even, they're not even on the same level as you. They're not even speaking the same language basically. It's that like night and day different.